then you're going to go ahead and switch your bowls up because now we're going to move to our wet ingredients. Now this is the point where I want to turn my oven on. So again, only do this part if you are working with an adult and have an adult's permission to use an oven to cook. So we're going to turn our oven on to 350. So I'm going to turn it up to 350 here and let that preheat while I mix my wet ingredients together. So I'm going to start with my mashed bananas. So I'm going to need 4/4 of mashed bananas. So to do that, I like to use a plate for my bananas, and I'm going to just take these bananas right apart here and kind of just squish that banana out of the peel. That's an easy way to kind of get that banana out when you're working with such a ripe banana like this. So I'm going to take that out. And again, like I said earlier, the riper the banana for banana bread, the better. And then I'm going to use my same fork to kind of mash that up because you're not going to want big hunks of banana in your banana bread. So I'm going to mash that up quite well with my fork just to get it all kind of smooth and evened out. And it's going to kind of look a little icky, like I wouldn't want to necessarily eat that, but it's going to make our banana bread taste just amazing. So I'm going to take that banana, and I am going to want to measure that out. So I think I'm going to add this other banana so that I can have exactly 4/4, which you know is equivalent to 1 cup of mashed banana. And look at that banana there. All right, so we're going to mash that up really well. And then we're going to measure that out. So I need 4/4 worth. So here's my 1/4 measuring cup because I'm using only a fourth today for cooking because we're working with fractions. So there is 1/4. So I'm going to scoop that into my bowl. There's 1/4. Here is 2/4. And you know that 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. Get it all in there. And then I'm going to measure out here is 3/4 cups of mashed banana, and I'll add that to my wet mixture bowl. And then here is 4/4, and it's about equivalent to, like I said, 2 or 3 bananas. So here are my 4/4 cup of banana, which you know is equivalent to 1 whole or 1 cup. All right, so there that is. I'm going to actually go ahead and put this in my sink and rinse out my measuring cup so that I can use my measuring cup for my other wet ingredients. So next I'm going to do my vegetable oil. So I'm going to take my regular vegetable oil. If you don't have vegetable oil, if you have any other kind of oil, canola oil, anything like that, I wouldn't necessarily use olive oil because that's going to make your banana bread taste probably a little off. So I need 2/4 of vegetable oil. So I'm going to take 2 1/4 cup. So there is 1 and there is 2. And then I'm going to add my milk. So for my milk, the recipe calls for 1/4 plus 1 tablespoon. So you can use buttermilk or you can use regular milk. Now, if you want to turn regular milk into buttermilk, here's how you do that. It's pretty simple. You take some lemon juice, squeeze a little bit of lemon juice into your milk, and what will happen is your milk will start to kind of sour up because that's what buttermilk is. So if you want to do it that way, you certainly can. I'm just going to use regular milk. So here's my 1/4 cup of regular milk. And then I have a tablespoon measuring spoon here. And I'm going to add that extra tablespoon into my wet mixture. So there's all of my wet mixtures. Now I'm going to take this same fork and I'm going to kind of mix this up. And one thing I did forget, I'm so sorry, is my 2 eggs. So then I have 2 eggs here that I've cracked earlier. And I'm going to take those 2 eggs and add those into my wet mixture. And I'm going to take those eggs and kind of get those all mixed together. And so you're going to want to mix that up really well as you get ready to mix the 2 ingredients together. So get that all mixed up evenly so that it looks like one even mixture of all of those ingredients. And then the last thing I'm going to add is 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So I have my 1 teaspoon measuring spoon, so I can add my 1 teaspoon of vanilla right into that, and then just continue mixing that up to get a nice even mixture. in your wet ingredients. Now, once that is all mixed together, now you're going to basically combine these two wet and dry ingredients. So to do that, you are going to add all of this into your flour mixture, but just a little bit at a time. So I'm going to get rid of my fork here, and I'm going to use a spoon. So I'm going to use a wooden spoon, and I'm going to take my dry mixture, and I'm going to kind of make like a little bit of a well inside of my dry mixture so that it's kind of down in there. So that's where I'm going to add some of my wet ingredients. So I'm going to add just a little bit of this at a time. I'm adding about 1/4 of this at a time, and then I'm going to mix this up into my flour mixture, my dry mixture, and you're going to want to get it kind of mixed pretty evenly. And then once some of that's mixed in, you're just going to add a little bit more of your wet mixture and do a few more stirs. And there's going to be not a ton of stirring involved because you don't want to stir it too much. And sometimes it does get a little messy. And so then you'll continue adding your wet mixture until it's all mixed in. So once it's all mixed in, it's going to look something like this. And then you are ready to put it into your pans to bake the banana bread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pan and I'm going to spray the inside of my pan. Now you're going to want to do the bottom and the sides nice and even. So I'm going to do that with both pans because this banana bread recipe is enough to make 2 loaves or 1 larger kind of cake pan. So I'm going to take my banana bread batter and I'm going to add that into my pans. So I'm going to do about half into one pan, and then I'm going to put the other half into my other pan. Make sure you use that spoon, get all the edges around that bowl into that pan because that's all going to be really good banana bread. And then I am ready to put my banana bread into my oven. So I've got my oven preheated to 350. So I'm going to take my banana breads and put them right into the oven, just like so. And you are going to bake that banana bread for 30 to 45 minutes. And I'll show you how to check to make sure your banana bread's done. Now, after about 30 or 45 minutes, your banana bread should be ready. So here's how you can check your banana bread when you, of course, using a pot holder. When you take a knife and stick a knife into the center of the banana bread, and if it comes out clean, meaning there's no dough or anything stuck to the knife, then you know your banana bread is ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and let those cool off before we dive in. So I have my amazing banana bread here that just came out of the oven, and here it is. That is good banana bread. And now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. So I want you to take a recipe. So it can be a recipe from a recipe book like this or a family recipe, something like that. And I want you to basically create your own little fractions worksheet where you're dividing fractions. So use one type of measuring cup. Maybe you use just that 1/4 measuring cup, or maybe you use a 1/3 measuring cup if you want an extra challenge. Create a chart like this that takes the ingredients and then converts it into 4ths or 1/3s. And then make that recipe. So you can either do a video or you can take some pictures of the process. Again, make sure you do this with the approval and permission of an adult in your house. And here's how you can send me that information. So you can either go to flipgrid.com and you can use the code right here, 552684D3. So you can use that code and send me a Flipgrid video. Or if you just want to send me pictures along the way, you can send those pictures to my email address right here on your screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one person that submitted all of this information, and submitted this assignment. So if you send me a Flipgrid video or an email that has pictures of you making this recipe, I'm going to choose one winner, and I'm going to send you a gift certificate for a restaurant of your choice. So I'm going to pick one person that sends this assignment to me. You have until Monday of next week to be able to send me either your pictures or your video. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing your work on this assignment. Take care, be safe. I love you all.